Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey everyone, it is Brian Kaz here. We have another Wednesday marketing webinar for you, and on this one, we'll be doing basically a bunch of website analyses, and we'll also have some time for a Q&A and such right there. Every now and then, usually like, I don't know, maybe once a month or once every other month, we usually let you guys submit your sites and stuff to us, and we analyze them. Now, we did get a bunch of sites sent in over the last few days. There were a few more sent in this morning, so we won't have time to do all of them on this call right here, but we'll see about maybe for like half of next week, we'll do some more or something like that, because we have some other training and stuff for next week, including going through some free software and stuff that you guys can use next week and such. So pretty good stuff. And yeah, and as always, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, feel free to ask. And if I don't get to it immediately, because I'll basically be doing the website analysis the website analysis and all that. Sharon's also on this call to help answer questions, and towards the very end, I'll do some questions live if we have some time right there, and we'll do a cash giveaway as well. So just really quick, just make sure if you can see my screen and hear my voice, just say a quick yes, and then I'll get the show on the road here. All right, good. All right, so without further ado, we'll get the show on the road here. And once again, this is Brian Kaz here, and this call will all be on website analyses, and we'll also do a quick Q&A, and we also have a freebie announcement as well that I'll announce in a couple minutes. So we have these calls every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, which is right about now. We'll have a live training and/or Q&A call. If you're here or you're registered for this series, you'll get a reminder each week, so you don't forget. But if you can't make one, I will have the recordings in the members area, usually within a day of any of the calls, under the training tab on the left side navigation bar. So you would just click on the training tab, then click on the Wednesday calls, and you'll see the most recent ones at the very top. But again, this one, you'll see it there either later today or by tomorrow morning at the latest or so. And as a special announcement, we have a free book that you guys can get if you take advantage of it right now, because it's only free for a limited time. And to do that, there's nothing you have to do. It's on Amazon. You just have to go to getwebfire.com/free book. Again, that's getwebfire.com/free book. And we have it free on Amazon for a few days. So you can make sure to take advantage of that. And this is basically a book on a bunch of tips and stuff to help increase your sales or increase sales for basically any business. There's actually 50 tips in that. And of all the books that I've done, I'd have to say that this is probably by far, I think, the best one in terms of actionable content you guys can actually use and implement easily and take action on. And with all the tips and stuff there, if you even use just a few of those, it can have oftentimes a drastic difference in the results that you can have. So definitely take advantage of this while this is free. So you have to go to getwebfire.com/free book, and that just forwards you onto Amazon, where we have it listed for free right now. So make sure to take advantage of that right now, because again, this won't be free in a bit. And as always, we also have a free Facebook group as well, where it's basically a marketing group. So if you have any questions or anything on marketing, or want to get the latest announcements on our trainings and stuff like that, you can go to getwebfire.com/FB group. If you're not a free member of that yet, just click the join button, and Sharon will probably approve you within like a couple minutes if you do so like right now. And you have to be a free member of that to have a chance to win $100 live at the end of this call. So make sure that you do that right now, so you're not all rushed at the very end. And It looks like we have a member that said it's their birthday today. So I think your name is Yaya. So again, can hope you have a happy birthday. Just saw that you said that in the chat right there. So glad that you could join us. So now we can move on to our training for this week on websites that you sent in to be analyzed. So the overview, we'll do the live website analyses, we'll do the Q&A, and we'll do the cash giveaway as well. Now we have a bunch of sites sent in, so we won't have time to go through all of them today. We'll probably just do like a few or so, but we'll save some for next week if you guys want. In fact, let me ask you guys, would you want to have some more of these next week as well, or would you rather us go on to some extra training next week, or do like kind of like half and half next week? So just leave us a comment or two right now, and yeah, and we'll do what you guys want. Then we'll have a brief Q&A, and of course we'll give some cash away as well. So I'm just going to pause the screen for a second as I switch on over. All right. All right, so it looks like most of you want like a split of half reviews and half some more training. So we'll do that next week with the free software that we will talk about then. All right, so just to pause the screen, switching on over. And all right. So the first site I'm just pulling up right now. First site, we have Dean McDonald photography. So he's a photographer, and I know based upon the notes I got from support that he sent in, it sounds like he's trying to specialize in baby portraits and stuff like that, although it sounds like he does a bunch of different things. And one of the first few things I see or one of the first things that anyone should really do is, think of what you ideally want to rank for and what your ideal client would search for. And in this case, he's obviously a professional photographer. He's trying to specialize in, in infant photos and stuff like that. But he's obviously also a local one. So it's not like if you're, in Australia or the US, it looks like he's like a UK guy here, I think anyway. Don't know where Bamber Bridge is, but obviously like a local guy there. He's not about to take like an international client or anything like that. And right off the bat, that tells you who is your target market. Your target market are basically people local to you. So you absolutely have to be targeting the local market there. So let me see. So this is a website analysis that I ran in Webfire about an hour ago or so, maybe two hours ago. And in this case, I just did a search for family photographer Bamber Bridge, which is the location that he's in right there, based upon what he says there. And one of the issues as I see is that, hey, he has an excellent chance of ranking for that, but he's not, and he very easily could be. And one of the reasons why a lot of people don't rank is that keywords in their title tags tend not to really match up with what they want to rank for. Like right now, the title of his page, which you can see right here, or essentially the title tag, is Dean McDonald Portrait Photographer, and then it lists his number. Now, the problem with that is anyone in his local area searching for him doesn't see, like, it doesn't have the keyword of the local area being targeted there. So he's trying to rank for Dean McDonald Portrait Photographer. So if someone knows him, knows his name, awesome. He has an awesome job of ranking for his own name. But chances are, my guess is the majority of his prospects don't know who he is. And it's great that he also has the keyword portrait photographer in there, but chances are Google and everyone else says 99.9999% of people looking for portrait photographer don't want him, nor does he want them, because they're not local. Okay, he's not getting international clients, I'm guessing here. I mean, I could be wrong, you might have a few, but realistically, 99.999% of people searching for that would not be an ideal prospect for him. So instead of trying to rank for a crazy term like that, that'd be too hard to rank for on a global scale, and instead of ranking for its name, which chances are, unless he's like a famous guy, most people probably aren't searching for, at the very least, he should try to have some local keyword terms in the title tag. Like if he wants to have his name, at the very least, add or say Dean McDonald portrait photographer in, and then whatever local town he's in, like the Bamber Bridge or wherever that was right there. Just having that slight change right there can make a drastic difference. Now, he does have a schema, which is good, but he'll want to make sure that he has a local one, which again, it's super easy to add a local schema using WebBuyer. In that case, he can have his local address, his number, and all that, so he's far more likely to show up on a local search there. He also wants to again, like even in the description tag, he at least says that he's based in Bamber Bridge, so that's a start there. But I would also reckon he should go as far as like the first sentence. He says, Dean McDonald Photography is your local photographer for all your portrait needs. You should say local photographer where? Local photographer in blah, 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 blah. It just stands out and pops out a lot more. And if you find that, your infant photos are where most of your sales are coming from, then target that term there as well, or basically target a few. The other thing that I noticed as well is when you go to your site, you have your number, people know that you're a photographer, but it's kind of like there's not really a call to action or anything like that. This is more like an about type site, which anytime you have a site, you ideally want to target more of a like some kind of a call to action, or at least have something that they should do. Like, hey, click here to check out, our sample photos of this or that, or whatever you want to specialize in. Break that down and have it very easy right at the top right there. If you scroll all the way down, you have some samples and stuff there, but there's really like no one knows exactly what you specialize in quite yet. They have to click on the services, and right under the services you have the different kinds of photos right there. The other thing that you do as well is, I know you said the newborn one was one of I think your main ones, you think. So right there, you want to have the entire thing probably be a clickable link, because it's not obvious that these are even links. Like, I kind of knew, like, okay, if he's smart, he probably has this a link, but when I go on the image, it's not. And when I go on here, I realize it is a link. But the majority of people out there in the world don't think that would be a link. They sometimes understand that an underlined blue word is a link, but right here you have it as black. So a lot of people won't even think to click that, and you lose them from looking at your examples and all that right there. So definitely change that. That's an easy, quick fix right there. I like how on the newborn page right here, I like how you have an example of the photo right there. I would also try, because you're trying to target on this page right here, you're clearly trying to target newborn portraits and stuff. Target in the title tag that keyword as well as the local area, like newborn portraits in Bamber Bridge or wherever the local area might be right there, because you're wasting a ton of stuff by not doing that there. Yeah, so, and there's also like no real call to action either, no mention of like how they can buy or how to set up an appointment, and you're kind of just hoping that they want you so bad that they're willing to go out of their way to reach out to you. And realistically, like imagine if I was selling Webfire, and if I didn't say click here to buy now, if I just said, oh, this is great, really awesome stuff, does a ton of stuff, lots of software, and then just left it, had no link to buy, no information, 90% of you would just leave. You would never buy. Or I should say 90% of you that would buy would just leave, because I have to specifically tell you what to do, what to click, and you don't do any of that right here. So definitely have something like, click to set up, an appointment, click to check out our packages or whatever it might be. Like there's no real info on that. And if I'm looking to get a portrait done, naturally I want to know like what kind of packages are they? What's the price of them? And you don't answer really any of that. And you have a number where, I have to call to probably ask those questions, which is kind of scary. A lot of people don't like that, especially this day and age right there. So I definitely would fix up that. Definitely target those local terms. The other thing that you do, which it's kind of a bit, I wouldn't say it's too late, but it's a mistake that was made when you made this site, is the pages that you have here, like right now for the newborn portraits, you have each one as a subdomain instead of attached to your main site. So if you had deanmcdonald.photography/newborn portraits, that would be considered the same site as this. But because you have it as a subdomain name, Google basically treats this as a separate site. So any authority your separate site had is not entirely lost, but a good chunk is basically lost. So this is basically treated as a separate site. So I'm not saying you have to change a ton of stuff around right now, but what I am saying is that make sure that you at least highly optimize this site specifically for the newborn keywords. Make sure that that's in the title tag along with the local stuff and all that, and have an easy call to action as well. I also saw, I didn't see it load again, but I know like one of the first times you had a spin to win. Like the first time that I went to your site, this basically popped up right here. And it's great to encourage guys to opt in, and a contest or a free gift can also be a great way as well. But one of the things that I think you should make clear is you say win a free gift, try your luck, spin and win a prize. But if you're a photographer and you're trying to get people interested in photography, definitely mention what those prizes can be. Like, win a free gift ranging from, a free photo shoot to, a free portrait to, a discount, or like anything like that right there. Like you don't really do a good job of explaining what that is, and you're kind of like saying, hey, sign up for something free. I won't say quite what, but sign up for something free. Some people will, but you'll get a lot more if you're specific about it. The other thing as well, when you're saying like win 10% off and all that right there, you don't do a good job on your site of really saying like what your prices are, as far as when I look around. I might be somewhere on that site, but you really need to do a better job of offering basically packages and the prices, and maybe just like showing like a handful of more examples and stuff, and then trying to specifically target, like the newborn photography terms. And you can even branch out and make some YouTube videos and such, even using, the video maker and optimizer we have, where you can make these videos where you show off slideshows of toddlers and stuff, or newborns, and show off and like try to rank for the localized terms there as well. So that can be like kind of like basically adding your spider web to draw in the traffic. So that's just a few things right there, and we'll move on to the next one in a second here. All right. So the next one, we had it's basically like a hunting lodge. Now I'm not a hunter, so I don't know a lot of the hunting terms or anything like that. But even so, I can give you a fair amount of info that I think will help a great deal. So this one is ringneckretreat.com. And if you're on this call right now, if I asked you to say, what is this offer? What is he selling? Most of you would probably say, well, it appears to be something with hunting. Maybe he's renting a lodge. Okay? Now that would be a fair assumption. He shows off the lodge. He shows off, the hunters right there. But you'd be only partially right and mostly wrong, because his main package, or his main thing, is he sells like a pheasant hunting, kind of like a done-for-you package, where a group of you goes there. He trains you how to shoot and all that right there. He trains you how to hunt. He has the dogs and everything right there. And then they take you out on almost like, basically like a guided hunting tour, but they also do the training and all that stuff right there. So it sounds like a really neat thing if you're into hunting, especially if, like, let's say you're with like a group of guys or like a corporate thing, and if like half them don't really have experience, this would be a pretty good deal, because it's like, he trains you and all that. It's a pretty nice size lodge and all that, but the page doesn't do a good job of really explaining what it is. It just says, welcome, as like a big headline right here. And it really needs to, like, within seconds, you need to know, what is the offer? Is it just a hunting lodge that they can rent? Is it like a guided tour? Is it all that in one? They need to explain it right off the bat. So the second you hit that page, you know exactly what the offer is, because that does two things. One, it helps really clarify to your prospects what you are. But two, it helps clarify to Google what you are too. Because if Google went to your page now, they probably, like everyone on this call, when they just look at your page, they don't quite know what it is, okay? And you can read a bit more and see exactly what it's all about, but right off the bat, it's hard to really say. And it's also, you have a local address down here, but it doesn't really do a good job of trying to target that, like up in the title or anything like that, or where it is. So you need to do a crystal clear job of what you are, kind of right there. And it's kind of confusing when you go down here and there's like a bunch of like violins and banjos and stuff like that. Again, it's not crystal clear exactly what it is, although I clearly understand from the explanation that he gave our support that, it's a hunting lodge that trains them all and all that, but do a better job of saying that. So, and when I go and inside of Webfire and analyze their site, in this case, because they specialize in pheasant hunting, the first keyword that came to mind. Now, they could use the keyword tool and find a bunch of others. I did pheasant hunting lodge South Dakota, because that's where they're from. And they have a very good chance of ranking for that keyword if they target it. But instead, the title that they have instead is Ringneck Retreat-Home. Now, the problem with that is the only people that will find them are people that specifically are looking for Ringneck Retreat. Now, he was saying that he has a lot of returning clients and all that, but his major issue is he has a problem getting new ones. This might be why from the SEO side, because unless you know his name, no one's going to find him. Unless you're specifically looking for a Ringneck Retreat, no one's going to find you. No one will know who you are, because you don't do a good job of trying to target, the keywords what people will be searching for, like, maybe, and again, you could use some keyword tools inside here and do some more research, but maybe like pheasant hunting lodge, or pheasant guided tour trips, South Dakota, or anything like that. Would probably be a much better keyword to try to market. You also don't have a description tag. You have that entirely blank. So there's not only a super short title, there's no description at the same time. And you don't really do a good job of mentioning the keywords that you ideally would want to rank for on that site. You also don't have a schema, so you don't have the local info that Google basically looks for to try to rank you. And with all those images on your site as well, you want to add image alt tags that have the keyword like pheasant hunting lodge, or pheasant guided tour trip, and all sorts of stuff like that right there. I mean, just change around those few things, and this isn't a lot of work. I mean, we're basically talking for like an experienced guy, maybe 15 minutes. If you're brand new to it, maybe like a couple hours to change up everything. If you use WebFire, shouldn't take terribly long to change up the title tags. And but I'd also would change up your site to basically, again, make the headline and stuff pop out, make your offer pop out. Tell me what you are and what is cool about you right there, right off the bat. And also have a call to action as well, like have a link or a button or something where they can check your special deals or your packages or your availability. You have the availability and rates right here, but you want something that pops out and stands out big time as well. Because really what you're basically doing is you're selling like a complete kind of done for you package where groups of people can basically go out and do all the stuff. I don't think you do a good job of communicating that effectively and easily. You could also try some paid ads as well, where you target people who are hunters, people who like pheasant hunting and stuff like that, and you could target them, especially because my guess is you probably have like a decent margin, in your packages. Because if there's a group of like a dozen guys, I'm guessing that's pretty good profit right there, and it'd probably be worthwhile to try to target those guys on Facebook and stuff, just to kind of show off your ranch. Maybe have like a brief video or even like slideshow that explains what it is you do right off the bat, what all the benefits are, and why yours is like the best all-in-one thing that they could possibly do. If you do that stuff right there, I think that can make some major improvements for you right there. All right, so let's go on, and keep in mind with all the things that you have there, all the pages you have more opportunities to rank for other stuff. Like it sounds like you occasionally do some other kinds of hunts and stuff like that, so you could separately try to target those. You could try to also target like a handful of articles where you try to target keywords where you basically indicate that you include the hunting dogs in your package and all that. And there's just a whole bunch of content that you could target and get ranked for really looking for the hunter that is a hunter, but not necessarily like super serious. Like they probably don't have their own hunting dogs and stuff like that, and you would majorly appeal to them right there. All right. So moving on to the next one. The other one we had right here was mi-education.com, and they basically sell educational training and instructions for teachers and such. And right off the bat, I want to say that the page is kind of confusing, but right off the bat, the questions I would have is first, have you made a lot of sales, and who is really your target market? Is it actually the teachers that are actually buying this themselves, or is it the school systems that are basically buying this for their teachers? You want to make sure that you clearly understand your prospect and who they truly are, because you might think that, hey, this would be great if teachers bought their own books on how to train better, but you might find, maybe they're not into to that. Maybe it's people in charge of the whole school that would be more likely to be, essentially a better target. I wouldn't know that offhand, but the person in charge of this probably would know who their ideal market would be, especially after they've basically gotten a handful of sales and have seen where they make their money and all that right there. But one thing though is that I also think it's kind of like, again, it's not crystal clear exactly what it is. Like I understand that it's training for teachers, with multiple intelligence techniques, which I assume means you're trying to teach kids with multiple different kinds of intelligences. Like, maybe one might be really good at drawing, one might be really good at memorizing. I could be completely wrong on that, but if I'm mistaken, probably a lot of others are too. So you have to be crystal clear in what you're selling and crystal clear on what the benefits are and what you can basically do, because I don't really understand what it is and what the benefits are right here. The other thing too is when I go to courses. So again, you don't really say, there's no real major call to action or basically anything right here. So, which is again a no-no. So if I click on courses, see right here, well, wait, this is for basically teachers, but you have teacher training, you have small businesses, and life coaching. So I'm kind of confused right now as to what your offer is, because I thought it was for teachers, but now I'm like, maybe not. But either way, I'll click on the teacher one. And I'm expecting to see like some information on the courses and stuff you have, but all you basically have is, hey, to find out more, email me. So it's kind of like no one is going to be that interested in your stuff where they're going to go out of their way to email you rather than just buy. So like you're basically making it super difficult to give you money. You know, imagine if you went grocery shopping and you wanted to get some bread. So you do what? You go to the bread aisle. And then in the bread aisle, you see a note that says, hey, you want some bread? Email me here or call me here or walk on the opposite end of the store and ask Peter if he can get you this bread. Like you'd say, oh man, that's so annoying. Why not just have the freaking bread right here in the bread aisle? You'd be annoyed, and chances are you might forget the fact that you even want bread. And that's kind of what you're basically doing right here. And you also say like you have to start now, which is not quite clear what that is. And I click here and it goes to a different page right here that I click start now. And I don't really know what I'm starting. I went to like a different page right here. Again, I don't really know what this is. I thought start now would be almost like a buy button or like a sign up or something right there. But again, I don't really see a call to action or anything right there. I see basically almost like not a blank page, but it might as well almost be a blank page because it is super confusing to buy from you and to really know what it is that you're doing. So I'd fix up all that stuff first. And then after you have more of a clear message about who your prospect is and who you're selling to and what you want them to do, then look into the SEO side, similar to all the other stuff that we said, where you're clearly trying to target your ideal prospect in the title tags. If it's local, you can target them there, but I mean, make it crystal clear exactly what it is that you're trying to do and who it is that you're trying to basically target there. All right, so moving on to the next one right here. We have another site here, which is the Alpine Ski Club. And similar to that last site, I don't think it does a good job of really saying what it is. Because based upon the description that the person emailed our support versus what I see on their site, I thought it was two different things. Like the description basically talked about how they rent the transceivers or essentially like the locator thing, so like a safety device. But on their site, it basically just talks about the club. And you know, it's great, but I don't, you know, I get that this is like a club, but I wouldn't think that they're selling stuff. I think like, oh, this is a club of some kind. Doesn't really say what the benefits are. Doesn't say why I should join. It just says, hey, click here to see how to join, but does not really say why I should. Click here, and then it gives some benefits and stuff here, but then it also makes it kind of difficult. Like he says, you know, hey, it's there's like, I think they said like 18 pounds or so. So it's not terribly expensive. But when you go to the forms, where it should say, instead of go to forms, it should say click here to join now or click here to apply now. You know, you have the forms and stuff here. I just think you're making it kind of a bit kind of burdensome, and you're asking like extra work that you don't necessarily need to. But moving on, one of the things that you said is that you rent the transceivers to members as well as non-members. So I don't know which one makes you necessarily more, but one of the things that you want to make absolutely sure on is that you then basically target those keywords well, like not just equipment for hire, but mountain climbing or transceivers for rent or hire. And you also like right here, like you're assuming that people know exactly what they are because you say right here, essentially the tracker twos are available for basically all, the people, whereas basically other ones are only available for members. So, people might not know what the difference is. And right here, it's kind of like, I would have like a summary of what those are and what the benefits are, and why it's important to have it right there. And I would try to make sure that each page you have basically targets that specific thing in the title tag. Like right here, you say transceiver hire, but I would go as far as like, the type of transceiver and all that. So it's like, it looks like, I'll click here too. So it looks like right here, it doesn't even, so I click here for more info, and that last one just went to like a login. Yeah, so that's kind of wasted SEO stuff right there, because you really only have some info right here. But I would try to rank individually for each of those, as well as a general one, as well as really educate people, on why they need that and why it's a good deal, and also try to rank for that localized areas where you rank those from. Try to rank for the receiver terms himself in the title tag itself as well. But having said that, like I don't really see like you're selling some stuff. You have the receivers for essentially 25 pounds for 12 days right there. You have the membership for basically 18 to 20 pounds a year, but I don't really see like where most of the money is being made. I see in the equipment hire, I can't hire or rent equipment. I can rent transceivers basically, and some other basic stuff like that. But most of that I can't even, get to, because it's only for members and there's no page on it. So I would definitely see what you could do if you want to rent to non-members. Try to have separate pages and stuff for them. Maybe have a discount, if they're a member. But definitely try to target those words or those terms separately, and make sure that you have those in the title tags of each one. And also not only target the specific names of what the equipment is, but also target like the general names too. Like, one might be a transceiver as a general term, but basically tracker to avalanche might be the specific word. So you can try to rank for both of those separately right there, and really basically educate them on why they want them, why it's good, and all those keywords and stuff give you a chance to basically rank for all that right there. But I would also look into try to like have some packages where you can make more money than just basically essentially the 25 pounds or so. Like, are there kind of package deals that you can do? Are there like maybe guided tours? Are there like more expensive things that you can talk about to possibly make a lot more off this? Because you're basically targeting a group of people that are used to spending a lot of money for a hobby. Like, it's not cheap to climb a mountain. There's some sports that are really cheap, some sports that are real expensive. I know, like, I play a lot of tennis, and that's probably basically in the middle area where, it's not the cheapest sport if you play a few times a week to restring the rackets and get new balls each time and all that. But I know it's probably cheaper than mountain climbing, with all the equipment and all that stuff right there. So since you're targeting these higher end, clients, see what it is that they may be interested in. Maybe ask a few prospects, maybe send out a survey, ask what they're most interested in possibly getting, what their needs are, what could you do to help them, what is a product or service that you could offer that they'd like. Sometimes simply by asking, you can get a lot of info where you might be like, crap, there's guys here that might be willing to spend a few $1,000s for maybe like a guided tour or something along those lines, where you never even thought to make a package, but they're basically begging to spend thousands of dollars on a package like that. I actually had a business friend once who had almost the exact same issue, where he had basically clients, once he asked what they were looking for, they were basically telling him that they want to spend, in some cases, tens of thousands of dollars on some other services and stuff that he could easily start to offer them, or do deals with others to basically offer them, that previously he never even thought to basically offer them that right there. So definitely look into that right there. I just heard that, I know Sean just got back on the call. He had a doctor's appointment that he had to get to. So I'm not sure, Sean, if you're on, if you have any comments or anything you want to add real quick, feel free.
I don't
Otherwise,
have anything brilliant, but I do agree that one of the things you do want to do with this kind of thing, like you mentioned, is give people the opportunity to spend more money when they come through. I mean, since you're probably not stocking any of this stuff, that and packaging for the people that are like, hey, I want to buy big time stuff, because there's always somebody who wants to buy big time stuff if you just put it in front of them.
Yep, exactly. All right, so we'll move on to the last one for this call right here, and then we have a few more that we can do for like maybe the first half of next week's call. So this one I thought was a pretty cool name, and it was called gearhooks.com. Now, right off the bat, I love the name, but before I read up them, like what I usually do is I look at the site first, and then I look at the description that they sent our support, because I want to make sure if I could basically understand what the site's about first. And in here, I thought, oh, this must be like hooks for fishing, because it kind of looks like a little hook right there. But then I'm like, oh, wait, it says make space, save time. Okay, maybe it's something about like some way to store it. Not quite sure exactly what it is. But in the first seconds that I'm on the site, I don't know what it is. And even though I know, they're probably saying, well, why don't you scroll down and read more and see what it's all about? You don't want to waste your prospect's time, okay? They want to know within a second or two what your offer is and what it's about right there. So I would maybe, change up the sub headline right here to like maybe make it crystal clear what it is that you sell, like hooks and racks or specialized hooks and racks to save more space. Now, when I scroll down here, I see that, oh, looks like he sells some storage stuff for bikes and golf and ski and boards and all sorts of cool stuff. But one major issue I see is that I'm thinking right off the bat, you're selling just the rack. And my first thought is, oh, I can get that rack at basically any store. Why exactly do I need you? But then if I do a little more research, I see that it's actually not just the racks. It's actually at the very bottom of the page. This is the first time after I went through the entire site that I understood what it was that you're basically selling. You're selling like a specialized like hook, like this essentially, like basically different kinds of hooks for different kinds of equipment and stuff, which is kind of clever because if you're a mountain climber, there's probably certain equipment that requires different kinds of hooks and stuff. Whereas if you're a fisherman or if you're like a biker, it's kind of cool right here that you see that, hey, there's different ways that you can have, your bikes up. That's all super neat and cool, but it's not crystal clear until the very bottom. Even then, it's not crystal clear exactly what it is that the offer is. So like, again, and I'm still not even sure if it's just a rack or if it includes the hooks. I know down here is the hooks themselves, but I don't really know what the offer is yet. I like the concept of it. I like where you're going with it. But yeah, I would definitely clear up that. And I would also have maybe a list of benefits, that specifically are saying like what it is, like right off the bat, what it is, how it saves space, how it's better than traditional things out there that people already have, and then where they can basically buy it. So like right here, let's say there's probably a lot of bikers. Let's click here. So it looks like you have some bike racks and hangers and stuff, so I get the general idea of what that is right there. The other thing too, is there a reason why you specifically only try to sell this in the UK? Because it looks like you charge in pounds. If you're trying to market this on a global scale, usually US dollars is better to go for, because if like, and like if you're basically buying online, if you're from the UK and you see a site that sells in dollars and you know they ship, you probably don't flinch because you're like, oh, that's kind of normal. Whereas if I'm from the US and I'm looking to buy something and I see something in pounds, my first thought is, oh crap, they might not even ship, or they might take ages to ship, or I don't know what that translates to in dollars, and you kind of lose a handful of people. And Google is also less likely to rank you on a global scale by basically looking at your site for things like that. Now, it's not necessarily fair that the U.S. dollar tends to be more like the global currency, but it is what it basically is, and that's stuff that Google looks at. And yeah, so I think your prices are reasonable right there. I think you have a cool product. But one thing too is when I do a website analysis of it, let me see if I can find the right one I did right here. Here it is. You have to use the everyday language that people will search for. So like they won't search for a gear hook. They'll probably search for equipment rack hooks, or bike rack hooks, or some kind of term like that. You would probably know more of what the terms are. You can use the keyword tool inside of Webfire to get like a better idea of the search terms that people search for. One of the first things that came to my mind was like equipment rack hooks, which may or may not be a good keyword, but you can easily do some research and find out. And I like that you have a decent title tag right here of wall-mounted hooks and rails for bike, skis, golf, gardening, and more. I would also make sure that every page that you have right here, like since this is all the bike stuff, make absolutely sure that the title tag that you have specifically targets just the bike racks and hooks. And I would also maybe add some like pizzazz to it, like maybe say revolutionary bike racks and hooks to save even more space, because you want to stand out from the normal bike racks and hooks. That I could go to a hardware store and get a basic hook for less than what you sell. Now, I know yours are probably more specialized. Yours look like they're better, but you have to stand out and and have like use terms like revolutionary, space saver, revolutionary, bike racks and hooks, or something along that, where not only do you have where you're trying to target those terms from an SEO point of view, but you add those extra terms to kind of spice it up a bit right there, just to make yourself stand out a bit more. And you can do that for every kind of different page you have. Like you can have the bike page, you can have you can have like looks like the climbing page here. Make absolutely sure that the title tags are specifically trying to target those there. The other thing that you can do as well is right here you have like a pretty long description tag, which is not the end of the world. You'd probably want it to be a bit more short right there to really pop out and stand out. You also want to make sure that all the images on your site, that you opt to optimize those and use the keywords on the images themselves. But more importantly too, this would be like the perfect kind of product to possibly do two things with. One, maybe sell on Amazon, because it's one of those things where it's a lot of people looking for a bike rack initially might not think to look on Google. They might go to Amazon. So I would definitely try to be there, even if you have to like. There's ways where you can give your stuff out like at like a discount to basically get like lots of sales, and can turn that into lots of reviews and stuff. Just kind of stand out. And if you're like truly a very good hook that saves a lot of space, that is much better than like a normal hook, you can really appeal to like those hardcore guys, and specifically have listings on Amazon for like revolutionary bike rack hooks, or revolutionary hooks or racks for climbing gear and equipment and stuff like that, and just have like a bunch of different listings where you probably have from this, it looks like you have basically dozens of different kinds of products that you could list, and that gives you a lot of chances to, over time, possibly get a lot of extra sales off of Amazon. So it's definitely something that I would consider there. I also think this could possibly be good for like to test out maybe on the Facebook ad side, because guess what? I would probably say, and you would probably know this more than me, but I'd say, hey, of all the ones that you have to start with, of like basically the climbing gear racks, the fishing gear, the gardening, the biking and golfing, I would ask yourself, which ones are the biggest pain normally to hang up? And which ones do you have the biggest benefit? Like you might find that maybe the climbing gear is usually like a major pain, and you can solve that and you have a super awesome solution. Or maybe the bikes, you have a really awesome way to hang those up and save a lot of space compared to like a normal hook. Whatever it might be, pick a few of those and basically target those to start with on the Facebook side by basically targeting the bikers, the climbers, the fishermen, the gardeners, and all that, and have a short little ad or like a short little video where you basically demonstrate how much more space they can save. And especially when you're selling a price point that's not, it's not like this is like $100 thing. You know, a lot of the hooks I saw, they were like, you know, 5 pounds or so. It looks like you had some racks that were like 19 pounds or so. So like not terribly expensive, but the kind of thing where if you can convey an easy benefit to these people that are already spending a lot of money on their equipment to start with, you could probably get some decent sales off that right there. And once you have those sales, it's probably easier to upsell them on stuff. Like, for instance, if you're a climber, there's a good, and like, let's say they came in to look for equipment or like, you know, racks and stuff for their climbing gear, there's a good chance they probably might also own a bike, or they might also golf or something along those lines. So you could upsell them into those additional things as well right there. Sean, is there any that you want to add in really quick right there?
I want to echo somebody's suggestion of videos for some of this stuff. That if you really want to sell a lot of these things, like you know, how does it go on the wall? You know, like there's one video there that shows the guy putting the bike in. It runs really slow. At least it's coming through really slow on my end.
Real slow on my end.
So I'm not even sure if that's actually a video or if that's supposed to be an image. But even just kind of, you know, how does this stuff all work? How does it go? You know, if you don't already have the hook, or if you don't have the rack to put the hook in, you know, how do you get that? Because all this basic stuff is what defeats people. The guy who's like, oh, I need the S550 617 hook, you know, that guy's great, but that's like one guy in a million. Like you pointed out, Brian, people are looking for not only the language that they use, but also how to do this stuff.
Yeah, and that's
just one more thing I want to add, because you have to realize how many people like don't know how to do basic stuff. Like, oh, my toilet won't stop running, I have to call the plumber. Or my toilet won't flush, I have to call the plumber. Not that it's blocked, okay, and you could just use a plunger, but I mean, like, oh, the little chain unhooked from the lever, so it doesn't work. Like, they don't even take the lid off and look inside and go, oh, I wonder if that should be coiled in a pile at the bottom of the tank, right? I mean, it isn't how to buy a new toilet and install it that defeats the people. It's the really, really basic stuff. And when you have those answers, you get attention and make a lot of sales.
Yeah, and one thing too, as you kind of said too, like it's not really crystal clear if you need like a whole rack or if you need just a hook, because based upon the picture with the bike, you know, it kind of looks like you just need a hook and not the whole rack in some cases, but in some other cases it looks like, you know, you might need the whole rack. So it's not really all that clear. And what we really need is just show like a video of it being installed. Like if you have one of just the rack or just the hooks, like it might be the hook, maybe it's like as simple as you nail it in and basically done. With the rack then might be along the same lines, who knows, but like really explain like, you know, what the benefit of the rack versus just hook is, when one's needed, when one's not, show how they can put like a bunch of hooks up throughout their garage everywhere that they want, and how there's like different kinds for different uses and purposes and stuff like that. And just, again, make it super easy, because like you might think, oh, everyone knows how to install a hook, but that's not true. Like me seeing this, I'm not really like a handyman or anything like that, and I'm not sure, hey, is this something that I could easily do? Is this something that I wouldn't know how to? Like, it's not really crystal clear, and that I think would be kind of exciting and useful content that you could have there as well, on top of all that. So with that, we will pause and go back to the screen, and we have a handful of more sites, but we'll use maybe the first half of next week to do those. And if you guys have any questions, you can feel free to say those. And if there's any other questions, again, feel free to mention that. And then for the giveaway, to win $100, here's what you have to do. First, you have to go to our free Facebook group at getwebfire.com/FB group. And if you're not a free member yet, just click join. Sharon will approve you within probably like a minute. She has a post towards the very top that will be basically dated from probably like an hour ago, so make sure it's the recent one, where she asks what you thought of today's call. If you leave a comment within that post, so you just click on comment within that post right there, we'll pick a random winner, and we'll do a random drawing in just a few minutes time right here, and we'll give $100 away to the winner that will actually PayPal to you as soon as we get your PayPal email. So you can win $100 live on this call by basically, again, going to that free Facebook group right there at getwebfire.com/FB group. Click the join if you're not a member yet, and then leave a comment towards the very top within the post where Sharon asks what you thought of today's call, and we'll pick a random winner within a minute or two. And as another quick reminder, guys, I did have that link for the free book offer as well, which I think is probably the best book we've done in terms of like useful tips that people can take action with. It's free for a limited time on Amazon, and this link will forward to that offer right there, but you have to go to getwebfire.com/free book. It is entirely free through Amazon, but only for a short while right here. So you have to make sure that you go to that link right now to take advantage of that right there. And feel free to, of course, leave a review or anything you want there. That's always appreciated, within the Amazon listing right there. And I know you guys will really enjoy that book right there. It's actually 50 tips to help increase your sales and stuff. And if you just take action on just a few of those tips, I know you can get tremendous value out of it. And what I love about this book is that it's a super easy read. Every tip, like each tip might range from like, a page to a few pages each one. It gives a summary of what the tip is, gives some examples of it, and gives a takeaway. So it's a super easy read. So like you can read a few tips, put the book down, come back to it, read a few more, and goes by really fast. And there's a lot of great stuff in there. In fact, one of the tips is actually something that we recently did about a month back that actually increased our conversion rate on one of our offers by a decent amount with a super simple tweak. So there's a lot of easy things in there for you. So again, make sure to check out that at, again, getwebfire.com/free book. And then, of course, again, for the cash giveaway, make sure you go to getwebfire.com/FB group. I'm just going to pause the screen for a second as I go to the group page and see if there's any questions or anything at the same time. All right, pop up the questions. All right, and Sean, if you've seen any questions that I've missed or anything like that, feel free to mention that. Okay, there's a question here asking if Webfire can work on a Spanish site. Yes, it can.
Yeah, I've got all the other questions answered, I believe. If we missed a question, you guys just pop the question in again. Margaret, thanked you for the advice on the education site. Paul, thanked you for the advice on the Gearhook site. So you probably can't find those in the big pile of stuff that was here. So if anybody has any other questions, pop them in, and meanwhile, post your comments up on the Facebook page along there, and we should be all good.
Yep. So here's the post right here from 55 minutes ago from Sharon asking what you thought of today's call. So far we have 32 of you that have left a comment. So one of you will be a winner. There's a couple that left some outside of that. That's fine too. I'll count those too. Yeah, we'll give you guys maybe another 10 seconds or so to leave a comment there. Then we'll pick a winner. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm going to refresh the page. All right. All right, someone left a comment in the wrong one. That's okay, we'll count that one this time. So it's within this one right here. So we have, count the ones outside at first. All right, there's always a few outside of it. There's a bunch that are outside of it. All right.
Some people just don't like to follow directions.
Yeah, makes it complicated. All right.
I don't mean me, other people.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 plus 28, 36 plus 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. All right. 40, because I saw this was posted twice. So we'll do 40 in total there. All right, so 1 to 40. What do you think the winner will be, Sean? We'll do a completely random.
39.
All right, 1 to 40. We'll see. We'll click generate. 13. All right.
Hey, 3 times 13 is 39. There you go.
This
See, I was right. I was very close.
All right, so 13. 1, 2, 3. I should probably, yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So Bravery Boldy, if this is you or looks like you and you're into motorcycles and mechanic magazines, congratulations, you are $100 richer, or you will be as soon as you post up your PayPal email. So in the chat box to Sharon, just post up your PayPal email and she'll get you the $100 sent shortly. So again, congratulations to Bravery Boldy for being this week's Wednesday Marketing Webinar winner. So with that, guys, again, I want to thank you all for being on this call. And again, next week we'll have maybe the first half, we'll do some more of the websites that were left, and then we'll have some new stuff to show off. We'll basically talk about some free software and stuff that you guys can use on your business. So with that, I think we've answered all your questions in the chat and stuff right there. But if by chance we missed anything, feel free to write support@webfire.com, or within the members area, just click on the help desk right there. And again, I want to thank you guys for being on this call. And again, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, look forward to chatting with you guys next week. And if there's any ideas or basically topics that you'd like to see covered, let us know, and we'll try to make sure to cover those. And also feel free to check the prior calls, because we allow you to sort through those and search, and we have tons of trainings there. But if there's a new topic that's of interest to you, or you want some more stuff on an existing one, again, just feel free to reach out and let us know. So with that, guys, hope you have a great rest of the week, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care. Bye.